So I'm just going to go into a few areas now that will sort of bring this to life in terms of our work. Transport, as we've heard this morning, is a key area of risk. There's also a key area of opportunity. And Dawlish Railway, which is a picture there. I was on that line 3 weeks ago trying to go to Liverpool for the day, and I got turfed off, and you know that I live in Torres, because the Virgin train couldn't get past the high sea state. We must act and adapt for what will be situations like this where there will be sea surges and sea swells, and business has to continue. We must stay connected as the South West to the rest of the UK for business to thrive and survive. Dry docks. I was involved with a project fairly recently where the dry docks presently in a country, to be nameless, work today, but when we did a little bit of work with them in terms of future sea level rises, the dry dock will not be a dry dock any longer. But they need to start working on getting a new dry dock now, because if they wait until 2020, it'll be too late. Aviation and transportation is a key area, and I won't go through all these in detail, I don't have time, but there will be changes in tourism. It'll be too hot to live in Spain, so if you have collateral and villas in Spain, I would suggest you may want to pass those on sooner rather than later. But I think the key message in seriousness about aviation is the sea level rise, which will come to play. We just completed a work with the aviation business and aviation operators and airlines, which are purposely portrayed here at a macro level, and looked across all of Europe. The sea level rise, which we have predicted with a 2 degrees warming, will put at risk 40 European coastal airports. 40, not 440. So places like Nice, places like Pisa, places like London City will be significantly impacted unless they adapt now for that future state, because they'll be underwater otherwise. And I've got loads of slides and can use into from an airline perspective to go through more details of what we have been doing. Please see me afterwards. We've also been working with the Environment Agency on the Thames Barrier, Trent-Estuary 2100 project. £80 billion worth of assets sitting in London, let alone the millions of people that reside there. And working with them to look at the average sea level rises and what that's going to do, together with the storm surges which will come about and be more frequent. So London is protected and can continue into the future as a significant legacy building infrastructure that is resilient for the future. Obviously, Tewkesbury in the summer of 2007 was a key moment to define what it could be like in the future on a more regular basis. And this office was, 2 weeks ago today, was significantly involved in advancing on the Monday of that week to Cumbria that there was a significant weather event that could occur, and the Environment Agency and us were giving an advance warning to mitigate against the impact of that flooding, which did occur 2 weeks ago to the day. But it's about getting into those extreme weather situations and taking people to that future state, not to scare them, but to get them to think about the resilience of their business, as well as the business opportunities that exist. And a key area that we've worked on to look at business opportunities is the energy industry. You've heard a lot about this this morning. We did a more fundamental piece of work with the listed companies there on the left-hand side that came together for the first time. Yes, they are competitors day in, day out. We joined as an independent body and arbiter, if you like, and the scientist body in terms of trying to make science work, to sit with this group of august companies to say, what is the future going to look like? How are you as a business going to survive, whether you be a transforming company in terms of transformers, or you are into pipework, or into energy generation, or energy transferring around the countryside. And we did a lot of groundbreaking work with all those groups. And what was really interesting is at the end, to get off Jenny, to see the work that those companies were doing as a collective, which will basically mean by 2040 that the transducers and transformers that will sit in say, London will be future-proof, so they will be able to cool down at night. Because if you've got increased temperatures at night, not only will we have our fans and air conditioning units on, running in as efficient a way as possible, but the transformers and transducers and the power stations do need to cool down overnight and get back into sync. And if it's too hot, they simply won't do. You talk about air conditioning on the underground. So some significant business changes that will occur, and the energy companies are leading the way to make sure that the lights stay on and we stay, and the infrastructure utilities is secure. We've done a lot of work with the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, talking about Amazon rainforests and rice yields, and in terms of the future state of disease and facing things like malaria. And it's about lobbying and getting that information out there in the public domain so people can debate it, can question it, can challenge it, but also then do something about it. Penultimate slide here in terms of defence. We are part of Institute Defence. For those few of you at lunchtime said, we don't know you're part of Institute Defence at Met Office. Yes, we are. They're our parent. Can be challenging, and they are also, like any government organisation, committed to doing their part for climate change and adapting to climate change. It impacts military operations. We do a lot of weather forecasting for their COVID operations. We have deployed forecasters, Met Office employees presently in theatre, helping making sure that the Ministry of Defence and our armed forces can make sure that they can either do COVID operations if the sandstorms are coming, or indeed make sure the shells fall in the right place, accounting for the wind and humidity, etc. But the future state of 2050 is the helicopters of today will not be able to fly in the future because of the change in air mass around the increased temperatures that will be upon us. So it's working with helicopter manufacturers, for example, and the Institute of Defence to say, if we want to make sure that our kit is resilient and is future-proofed, let's start talking about that today and going to that future place and seeing what we need to do collectively. That is a business opportunity. So my final slide here in terms of, I certainly see a business opportunity to come out of the impacts on climate change. If you are, and the areas of focus are on energy and ways we can mitigate and adapt and take on that challenge. Around water usage, and you've heard about that, and that makes eminent sense, whether it be water shortage or dealing with excess water by way of flooding. Food will continue to be an important area that we will need in terms of increasing demand and how we can future-proof and food security, together with health, transport, and obviously construction. And I do believe there is opportunity. We are very delighted to work in partnership with a lot of major companies, but also we realise we can't get to everybody. And as a result of that, we have obviously produced leaflets which are on your desk. Certainly the Warming Climate Change book, which was given away as a freebie in the Independent nationally yesterday. It was a good quality. It's a real slightly thinner version, but you've got the real McCoy here, the original version. And also, in terms of if you're interested to know what we do day in, day out here in the Met Office, there's a guide to the sort of stuff we get up to day in, day out, also for you to take away. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions later on. Thank you.